frustrated. I did try it out. That's the only one who was on that side of the building.
Yeah, out of the way.
As the secretary.
Sending me a check.
In case I was.
I'm not sure what they are. Because they were supposed to
Let them know I'm putting them on the spot.
So when you speak, they're like real directional mics.
Must miss us.
You're a character, right? Why?
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I call to order the May 2nd City Council agenda. Being the first meeting of the month, we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Defer to Councilmember Scher to lead us in prayer.
Let us all pray. Loving God, we thank you this night for good government and those who are willing to serve. Ask that the deliberations this night might be civil and well-informed. We pray in your name, amen.
Council, we have an agenda before us. We have a motion on the agenda.
Move approval.
Moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed? Agenda is approved. We have minutes from the April 18th regular meeting. We have a motion on that.
Move approval of the April 18th regular meeting minutes.
Second.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Okay, that one's approved. Our next item is a recognition for the Rotary Club. I guess I'll turn this over. Tab.
Good evening. Several months ago, I got a wild hair and decided to nominate the Waverly Rotary Club for the Service Club Award of Excellence to the Iowa Park and Recreation Association. I did that because for the past 5 years, they have been key in some special projects. And what's nice about them is that they get us money and they get workers to do the projects. So it's kind of a double advantage. The other thing they do is they double the local money by applying for a district grant, and they have been very successful in doing that. So with all those things, the projects of the past 5 years, and with them giving us some money for special projects, I nominated them, and they were recognized by the Iowa Park and Recreation Association as the Service Club of Excellence for the state of Iowa. That happened at the end of March at the state convention in Council Bluffs when I was able to present it to a Rotarian. So I'd like to formally present this in front of the city council, and I think the Rotary Club deserves a round of applause, and then we'll get them up here to take a picture.
Absolutely.
The other thing I got to mention is I would be remiss if I didn't mention Terry Dahlquist. He has been I'm putting this mildly, my contact person with the Rotary Club for the past 5 years, and he has dogged me to get projects and get things done and that sort of thing. So he's been a very key member of the club to initiate some of these ideas, and he's the one that goes after the money, and special thanks to him.
I wanted to make a mess here, first of all. On behalf of the Rotary Club and several members that are here, out of the 60, I want to accept the award for the Service Club Award of Excellence from the Park and the Iowa Park and Recreation Association. I think I got all of that right. I also wanted to say thank you to Waverly and to the Leisure Services Department for the opportunity to work with them on these projects. I also need to thank TAB and the Leisure Services Department for nominating us for the award. And we look forward as a club to working again with the Leisure. In fact, we've got a project on the burner right now, working with Leisure Services and TAB Ray, and it meets our objective of service over self, so it fits well for the club. And if the club members will come forward, I guess we're going to do a picture.
Let me snap one of you two first, please. Terry won't like you.
That's right.
1, 2, you're good. Awesome, thanks.
Nobody saw anything.
Everybody else? Gather around.
I'm gonna get up front. Stand up here, you do too. Thank you.
Okay, our guest council person for the month of May will be Wade Kelly. Wade, let you introduce yourself a little bit to everyone.
All right. Good evening. My name is Wade Kelly. Employed by John Deere Drivetrain as the Six Sigma Black Belt. My wife, Cindra Kelly, is the Education Manager for Junior Achievement of Northeast Iowa. We have two boys, one in 5th grade, one in 2nd grade at Cary Elementary. We moved from Denver to Waverly this past August, and thank you for the opportunity of being here tonight.
As guest council person, you have all the rights to engage in our discussions and debates. You just don't get the chance to vote.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is public comments for anything items not on the agenda. Any public comments? Okay, we'll move on to the consent calendar. We have 2 items on the consent calendar for this meeting. Pay request from McClure Engineering for the Waverly Municipal Airport Runway Rehabilitation 2014 for $6,635.59 and a Class C liquor license renewal for Water Street Grill. We have a motion on that.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on those?
I do have a question from a citizen on the runway rehabilitation, on just the timeline of it, of where we're at and how much further along before it's complete, that kind of thing. If we can give a little quick update, maybe.
Well, you can follow us on Facebook, City of Waverly IA. On Facebook, we're trying to give routine project updates. Gave one on the airport just a little while ago, a couple days ago. The runway has been removed and crushed and put back, and probably within about 2 weeks they'll start the paving operation. But it will be into June before it's opened back up to the public, because they still have to do the entire lighting and electrical systems.
Thank you.
Weather for that and all of our projects that we have going. Allow that to move along. Okay, so any other comments on that? All in favor of consent calendar, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Those pass by unanimous. Move on to regular business. Item number 1, approval of a block party permit for Revive. We have a little description on this at all? Okay. Sure, right here, if you would speak to this directly.
Hi, I'm Megan McMillan, Angela Gady, Tammy Wheeler, and we are 3 of the founding members of Revive, which is a Christian music festival. We've held it the past 2 Septembers in Coleman Park in the amphitheater, and our attendance has doubled in size both of those years, so we're anticipating quite a large attendance this year, upwards of 2,000 people. And because of that, we have outgrown the amphitheater, and we're renting a stage from a production company, and we would like to put the stage on the street in front of St. Paul's, and we have received their blessing to do so. And it would basically be in front of their retaining wall, kind of between each of their driveways. So we wouldn't block their entrances, and we wouldn't block the side streets at all. I don't know if you have questions or need more information about our event, but that's what we're asking for.
I just want to say, as a member of St. Paul's Church, I appreciate the way you configured that. I think it's really a sensible way to do it, and it shouldn't cause any problems at all.
Yeah, we've talked to, I think, Paul down there, and it sounds like they're on board with it, and they've been a big supporter of our event the past 2 years, so we certainly appreciate that from them as well.
My question would just be with like Nestle, that's the one, kind of the road there. Are we clear it's a Saturday, so it's, as far as traffic, communicated with them? What's
We have not, but we certainly can do that.
probably good. I'm not quite sure exactly when their hours of moving in and out.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that on the weekends either, but,
That would be a good one to check with, just
Okay.
that's the main traffic through there. Any other discussion?
I guess I would say appreciate you all the work that you've done to put this together.
thanks.
I mean,
Thank you.
the more things we get in Waverly, that's neat to have.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you all down there that day.
Okay, do we have a motion on block party permit?
Move approval of a block party permit for Revive for September 17th, 2016.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion from council? All in favor of this, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Unanimous. Block party on for September 17th. Item number 2 is to set the public hearing date to amend the fiscal year 2016 budget. Turn this over to Ms. James, or
Sure.
turn it on to Jennifer, or just turn it on to you?
Eventually, it's going to go to Jennifer, but we're routed here first. So
Okay.
I appreciate that, Mr. Chair. Each May, county, city, normally there is a budget amendment to clean up the book, so to speak, or to just make adjustments that were done throughout the year for any unforeseen items that were approved or overages that may have occurred. I know Jennifer's prepared the documentation to be published, and if she'd like to give a very brief overview of what we are looking at amending. Normally, most of this will be discussed at the actual hearing, so we won't get into too much detail, but just, if you would, just provide a very brief explanation of what we have here.
I think maybe Valerie gave you the information today. A lot of it is timing of capital projects where they cross over construction in 2 different fiscal years. There's other things like repairs that came about. I don't know if you remember the air conditioning of the library that was approved by the council, so that wasn't in the budget, so it had to be put in the budget. So anything that, is bringing your functions over what was budgeted and needed to be amended. And the detail is listed. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
And a lot of this will be covered during the hearings in much greater detail, so we're just setting date right now.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. We have a motion on setting the public hearing.
I will move setting the public hearing date for fiscal year 2016 budget for May 16th to 2016 at 7 p.m.
Second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Okay, unanimously approved on that. We move to item number 3, which is approving purchase of a new 1-ton dump truck. And again, I will turn this over, just kind of brief description.
Yes, sir. The truck was part of the budget for the year, was bid out. The local bidder, Rolling Motors, won the bid for the vehicle. And as it comes in, then the body itself will actually be bid as well to be then assembled for the truck. So this is the truck and chassis for the eventual dump truck body for Parks and Rec.
So, James, for the uninitiated, including me, why do we buy the chassis and the other units separately?
That's a great question, Mike. I think I'll let Tab Ray answer that question.
Chevy does not make dump truck boxes. A dump truck box company makes them.
Okay, thank you.
This is a little bit over budget.
$393 over budget, yes, sir. Or close, but
I'm assuming the box the dump part is budgeted separately, or is that?
It is separately budgeted, yes, sir.
We can make up the $400.
I think we can swing that.
Still going if I have to. Cans in the ditches, whatever it takes.
Okay,
I guess the only thing, that's nice to see on this one, I know we had a truck, maybe it was 3 or 4 months ago, can't quite remember how long ago, but we needed a 1-ton truck, and we went with like a $36,000 one instead of a 25 from Rolling. I know that specifically had to be 1 ton, I guess, for the box. And at the time, Chevy didn't make a 1 ton, but it's nice to see. I mean, this is, over $10,000 cheaper than the last truck we bought, so that's always nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much the box will cost itself, but we do have it budgeted, and we'll get that outbid as well as soon as possible once it arrives. Get that assembled and on the road.
Could be as much as a chassis, I assume, probably. Or-
They are expensive. I'm not sure how much that box is and then the assembly of, but put a no tab. I don't know if he has that handy. Tab Ray? Sorry. You have an estimate on the box itself, what that cost will be?
Usually about 10.
I get, just maybe if people are wondering, how do you go about bidding trucks as far as who's selected? Basically just open it up, I assume, and
We put together plans and specs and send them out to all the local bidders or local dealers, so they all have the same plans and specs. If they have alternates, then they note those right on them.
I can also, just kind of a dumb question, but just so people wonder, but we always seem to just trade them in. Have we ever thought about private selling? I mean, the city, we probably just don't do that, or is that something that we?
If we don't get a good trade-in value, then we would put it on the, market ourselves. We think we got a good trade-in value on this one.
buy it for 4.
Well, I just, it's a.
Are you interested?
It's a
or-
pickup truck. It's a truck with 86,000
offer?
miles on it. But yeah, I just wondered. I just noticed they both had with trade-in. So.
Did you bid $3,001?
Can I get back to you on that?
After tonight, it's going to be too late.
I know, that's right.
So Tab, just to be clear, we got bids from our 3 local dealers. I think it makes sense to shop locally, as we say. Is there ever an effort to go beyond Waverly for bids? Or would there be any point to it?
We have done state bids before, when the state has done its own bidding that satisfies the requirement for a bid as well, especially on specialty type equipment. But when it's a typical, Chevy 3500 1-ton truck, then it makes sense to go locally. I suppose we can go to other Chevy dealers and Ford dealers and Chrysler dealers someplace else, but we've not done that.
Got the advantage of service and stuff, and there's an advantage.
Yeah, we service our own stuff. The advantage is if there's any warranty work.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll move approval purchase of a 2016 Chevrolet 3,500 1-ton dump truck from Jerry Rolling Motors, Inc. of Waverly, Iowa, for the purchase price of $25,393.56, including a $3,000 trade-in and adding a fuel kit for $50.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, this is a roll call vote. It says roll call vote here. Okay. I didn't get that sheet. Okay, so a voice vote. All those in favor of this say yes.
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 Opposed? Unanimously approved. We're getting a 1-ton truck. Okay, item number 4 is Resolution 1637, approving a change order for the golf course. Both James on this, or to Tab?
Sir. Probably the usual route. Come to
Okay.
me first. The change orders you see is for an increase of 2,400 for the riprap on Pond C. So we're trying to finish that up. And then the pay app is again 10,000 for Baker Concrete excavation for the other golf course pond itself. For any additional detail, I'll let Tab go into that. But I know we're just trying to get this finished up and ready so we can prep for the next couple ones starting next fiscal year.
Are we, I noticed the work around the top. Are we sure now that the pond's going to hold water and everything's, are we confident in that?
They're working on that. We still have the retainage, so we have a little bit more money that we need to pay them, but we're not going to pay that until that's taken care of.
That would be a good idea.
Motion on this?
I will move Resolution 1637, approving change order number 4 of $2,400 and pay app number 2 of $10,402.50 to Baker Concrete and Excavating of Claremont, Iowa for the Golf Course Pond Project.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? It says roll call vote also? Okay. This one would be a roll call vote then.
Resnick.
Yes.
Lampy.
Yes.
McKenzie.
Yes.
Gade.
Yes.
Scherer.
Yes.
Angus.
Yes. Vote of 6-0, 1 absent. Resolution 1637 is approved. Item number 5 is Resolution 1638 to change order for the Dry Run Creek. We'll go same route.
Yes, sir. Council voted earlier to go ahead and do the full replacement of the box culvert in Fifth Avenue. And this is a change order that reallocates those funds. Ed staff talked to Mark Corey with Ehlers and Cooning. I believe we are okay to make that allocation. So we are compliant with what was done for the bonds and they're initially sold. And so this is that change order then to allow that funding to be put in place so that culvert can be replaced.
Any discussion from council? Questions?
So the main thing, like you said, you just had to get approval that the bonds we sold, we're not taking any out any more money, but that this will cover that part of the project since it was.
Correct. There's a remaining balance sitting, and we had to make sure that it was proper to use it for that type of project. We assumed it was
Right.
similar culvert, et cetera, and bond attorneys have said, yes, you are proper to use it for that, so we are good.
Cool. Yep.
You get a motion on this?
I'll move Resolution 1638 approving the change order number 3 of $152,452 to Peterson Contractors Incorporated of Rhinebeck, Iowa for the Dry Run Creek Improvement 2014 project.
And we get a second. Second. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
I
Do
guess
we have
just,
any, I'm sorry, do we have any idea start date when they're gonna try to fit it in and?
This one will be done after the Fifth Avenue Northwest box culvert is started. So it's probably going to be, during the summertime, probably sometime late June. That's when they'll get started.
Be through the planting season, that type of thing for traffic and out of the school season, that type of thing, so.
Right.
Yep, okay.
how do we notify people of that, or is there hearing or readings or whatever, I guess whatever the right thing would be to give people notice, or how does that come about? Notice that if you're starting, say, July 1st, how do we notify people ahead of that
Like the
time?
road closure and that it's coming that way.
Yeah, so they can give them some advance notice if they need to reroute themselves or
Yes.
preparations.
Yes.
How
We
often-
will notify the people along the corridor. Some are already aware of it
Yeah,
through word of mouth.
yeah. Okay, maybe we can publish something.
Facebook. Follow us on Facebook.
No, not everybody uses Facebook.
Plugging that
Under-
ad.
I try to
Under,
avoid it.
I assume we
understand,
talk
but that's
about it in
one-
the radio station,
one format of.
newspaper. Yeah, we'll use
Yeah,
all available
perfect,
media.
yeah, yeah.
Just send us a notice far enough ahead.
No further discussion. This is also a roll call vote then?
Kangas?
Yes.
Scher?
Yes.
Gade?
Yes.
McKenzie?
Yes.
Lampy?
Yes.
Resnichek?
Yes.
Vote of 6-0 with one absent. Resolution 1638 is approved. Concludes our regular business. Move to reports from boards and commissions. We have minutes from Planning and Zoning Commission from April, as well as Economic Development Commission minutes. Any comments?
We had talked about a workshop to go through the SWOT analysis. Was that scheduled? I'm sorry if maybe that was scheduled and I don't know the date.
Hasn't been yet.
Yeah,
that I'm
based on
aware of.
the informational meetings for the Bremer Avenue project, we kind of took those up for the study sessions. We can still schedule that when we get a chance.
Sometime when it works.
One of the questions that the commission had was, did you want to do it on a regular study session, or did you want to do it on a second or fifth Monday as a separate and distinct co-group? Because that was one of the things they asked about, instead of doing it on a regular study session. And then our thought was that there'd be 10 or 12 or 15 members maybe to be there, so we could do it around the table in the Civic Center instead of at the dais. And we could still notice the meeting, so it'd be a public meeting. It'd still be available and open to the public, but it wouldn't be in here. It'd be a lot better for discussion between the groups.
Whatever the group.
We can still do it at a study session night. I mean, we can still pick a night where it's a study session. It just makes more practical
That might be interesting.
discussion to have it
Right.
in a different way.
Yeah, we don't have a fifth Monday till August. I mean, we have one this month, but we also have Memorial Day.
Yeah.
I guess we can figure it out as it gets closer,
Okay.
whatever.
All right, we'll talk to you about it.
I guess just because of knowing how busy people's schedules are, that type of thing, if we went with our regular fourth Monday of the month,
Yeah.
that may be easier for folks to schedule in, at least
Kinda what I
for
was-
this group, and with some advance notice, the
Okay.
commission could schedule in. That'd be my suggestion anyhow, is just do it on a regular study session, fourth Monday, and hopefully hit a time where the
Okay.
majority of this group will be there.
All right, we'll work on that.
Reports have been received. Any staff comments?
I do not, sir, but I know staff
Rob,
do
you
have a
got
few
some more
comments.
awards you've been nominating? Not yet? Okay.
Not yet, no. We're getting into the busy time of year, and there's a number of things happening this weekend. The 11th Annual Art Walk is this Saturday in Coleman Park. There's 33 artists. It's a juried art show, so they had to show their stuff before they would be accepted. It's free to the public. You go and buy something. But we've got 2 bands. We've got 3 food vendors, so it should be a fun day from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. At the same time, Artrageous is going on in the downtown area. I usually don't push commercial type stuff, but they're going to have kids' artwork in their windows. So if you might want to go down and just look at that. Additionally, this is the first farmers market. The farmers market will be located the same place it always has been, between 2nd and 3rd Street on First Avenue Southeast. So they start with Saturdays now. They'll start with Tuesday nights in June. Lastly, this Saturday is the first of 2 of the largest high school soccer tournaments in the state. I believe the boys are this weekend, and there's usually about 18 or 19 varsity teams and 15 to 16 junior varsity teams out at the soccer complex. So there's going to be a whole mess of visitors to the community. Oh, the Try-by-Night triathlon is also this weekend. Last year they had over 250 entered, and they have that again. Yep, they have that again. So busy weekend.
Thank you.
Been asked to give a brief update on the 3rd Street Southeast Bridge, and a couple weeks ago, Brown Intertech was in doing the core samples. So This is the South Pier. There was always some concern with the South Pier and the north abutment and the condition. And so core samples down below here, they drilled about 2 feet into the pier. And as indicated here, the quality of the concrete in the South Pier is not good. Hoping that there are better results for the North Pier and South Abutment. Casey Faber will be here at the study session in 3 weeks to give a more formal update and presentation. He will have the full report from Braun Intertech back at that time. So he'll be presenting an update and a recommendation as far as what needs to be done to the concrete. This one got shared or viewed over 1,000 times on Facebook. So I'm going to keep pumping that because we're trying to do a posting every day on the various projects around town. So trying to get people to tune in.
So what are we supposed to like on Facebook again, Mike?
I believe it's City of Waverly IA. Is that correct, Carla? What?
Waverly IA, and then Facebook. Symbol is on that page. Just look for City of Waverly.
If you search, though, there's 2 City of Waverly Facebook pages. One's the official and one's the non-official. The new logo is the official one, and the old logo is the non-official one.
Was there a non-official?
Somebody did it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's been out there for a long time.
Yeah.
okay.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Can we kind of work together, or is it some for a special?
I don't know that we know who was the.
You can always just contact the page.
Yeah, maybe.
So you go to the city's webpage.
If you go to our city webpage,
which is waverlya.com, you can link to the Facebook page.
Yeah, then you get the right one. You bet.
Yeah.
But if you say City of Waverly, both of them come up, and just go for the one that has the new logo, and that's the one that's the current one we're using.
I wonder. I know, some of the discussions in the past they talked about the relevance of the depth of the pier, and we would have had some crumbling on the outside that looks bad but may not be relevant. And I'm assuming that WHKS will probably speak to that.
Yes, 2 feet is very relevant. 2 inches, not so much. So
yeah.
That's what case you'll be here to talk about.
Sure. Yeah. All right. This looks pretty good. Yeah.
Mike, while you're standing over there, any update on the closure of Bremer Avenue at 6th? Are we on schedule? Any chance it could come to a conclusion earlier?
I actually posted today on that one. And, Saturday night I was out there and there was 2 feet of water. It was pretty well swamped. And when I drove out there at 8 o'clock this morning, they already had it pumped dry. And by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they were pouring concrete on the last section. So the concrete work on the box culvert is effectively done. After today, they'll be stripping the forms and beginning the backfill process. And that's going to take several days to accomplish because they have to very carefully layer it in. There are storm sewers that they then have to connect from the storm intakes to the walls of the box culvert, and expecting that whole process to take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to build back up to the roadbed and get it prepped and ready for the paving operation that should take place towards right around Memorial Day or first part of June. So in that respect, they are right on schedule, ahead of our 3-month schedule, but on their 2-month schedule. They're on task.
I'm assuming. I mean, it's really. I'm not even qualified to ask the question, but I assume as they're building it up, they're going to basically cover the culvert, and this wouldn't be torn out when they redo Bremer Avenue when the DOT does it.
No, Bremer Avenue is going to be paved over the top.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
So in that respect, they can.
Sure.
But the box culvert itself, no, that will remain intact.
Yeah, I didn't know if the road surface would have to be. Okay.
Just to follow up on the dry run, I know their focus is on Bremer as it should be, but as you go upstream, they kind of have those dammed off into certain
Yep.
yeah, become ponds. And I'm assuming they must only have a certain amount of pumps. I mean, I know they pumped one of them out, but still tonight,
one's a giant lake that you could take a pontoon out if you wanted to, but just go in a circle. But is it just because they don't have enough pumps to keep all of those sections pumping out, or do they just move them during the day, or how do they handle that kind of stuff?
That's part of it. The focus was on drying out the box culvert area in order to be able to accomplish that last pour. And they'll begin working on those areas as they need to gain access to the work site.
I saw they do have the, I would call it the sidewalk down the middle. I mean, the channel is poured on a lot of those sites, in one of the sections for sure. And then they kind of dam that off to do that, but then they fill up into these huge lakes almost kind of in backyards. So. Okay.
Fishing pole.
It's not small.
Yeah, I know.
Seen it.
I think it's all our comments, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So we move to city council comments. Let's start on the right side.
I don't have anything. My only comment, I guess, is I suppose the paper was Amelia was involved. I was downtown at a business talking about something, actually promoting the archery club with him, and saw a truck hit the tree. And then they eventually cut the tree down. And I'm not sure. I know I wasn't able to come to the meeting last time, and I apologize for that. I know there's some discussion, but there's a lot of concern for safety, and that was a close call. So I'm not sure. I mean, I can speak a whole lot more. I don't know what's going on. To me, it's something's got to change. When the truck driver got out, and he was kind of shook up, saying that his load was within DOT limits, and he hit a tree. We got to make a change. So, and I know this group is probably the thing that concerned me is, again, I heard someone say, boy, somebody's going to start suing the city. So here I was standing in a group of business folks saying that, no, this is not a city project. So I don't know. This isn't going well. So I wouldn't have brought it up, but I was standing there and I saw it. We were kind of gazing out the window and saw it happen. So don't know what to talk about, I guess.
Anything on?
I have no comment. I don't know what to say to it. I mean, he hit a tree. The tree was took down, and again, I don't know if there's changes that can be made. It's been talked about a great deal. They're trying to proceed best they can as quick as they can, and again, it's not the engineering firm. I don't know what to say to it, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Open for good weather.
For smaller trees, I guess. I don't know.
We won't have many trees anymore.
Eventually, that problem solves itself. Then I guess I don't know. Like I said, not to make light of it. It happened. It could have happened without this project. If you got close enough, you could have hit it without the project going on. I mean, I don't know that
He was limited. He was limited in his lane for oncoming traffic. He didn't have a choice, and he didn't know it. I mean, but yeah, to me, it's. I mean, none of it. So then a lot of the business owners came out, and they were very concerned about lost business and reduced earnings, and so they're looking to me. They're looking to me to help. They said they're not getting the help from the chamber, so I don't know. I don't know where I go, and I guess I'm trying to before some of the discussion. I guess I'm trying to find a solution before it gets worse. And I know this is not in your wheelhouse stuff, and
I mean, I would say the chamber or the development corp. I mean, it's the project that's at hand. That's who they should discuss this with. The whole. I mean, obviously it's in the city, but
yeah,
I don't like to say it's not a city project. We're all affected by it, but
yeah,
those are the areas that I guess I would have them approach initially to have those discussions with, and then
But, yeah, and somehow we need to fix, that's, we need to fix to where if we've got it's almost like our hands are tied. I've said this before, it's a street that's in our city, and we don't have any control over it. It seems a little bit strange.
How would we fix it? You keep saying that. I want to understand how do we fix it? How do you still get that street poured with the limitations and the curb in the street and the distance? How do we fix it? It's not my field. I don't know. It's laid out. DOT approves. I don't know how to fix it.
What's explained to me is the lanes aren't according to what the DOT approved. I don't know that to be, and I understand there's no one in here that would probably want to answer this, but that's what it was explained to me, that the lanes are not according to what the DOT approved. I don't know who
Contact
monitors
DOT
that.
and see if that's the case.
Yeah, and I got stuck in the middle of it, but
I guess, I've heard from other businesses too that obviously I talked last meeting about the reduce of business, and I did talk to the mayor about specifically who I was talking about on one of them. So, but there has been others that have come forward with their frustration from the chamber and how there just hasn't been responsiveness from the chamber in general to all businesses, and when they have concerns, they should be more open to helping all businesses in Waverly, and I don't think they're getting at least some of the feedback I have been getting from certain businesses is that the chamber isn't always available, doesn't come and visit them, doesn't seem to take their concerns warranted, those kind of things. So I know, again, we aren't the chamber and we don't control the chamber, but
we fund the chamber.
We do fund the chamber, yeah, a lot of it. So, but that's just some of the stuff I'm hearing too. So.
I would encourage you, if you hear that, to remind them that there's a chamber meeting once a month, and I'm sure they'd be welcome to come to that. I sit in on that group, and
But they call, it's not, they're not going to wait a month. They're calling the chamber date, like what problems that happened that day. So, but yes, I can remind them of that.
the chamber has a board, and if they're
Sure.
not getting the action they want from the chamber, they need to talk to the chamber board, because
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, not all of these folks are chamber members either. So,
Yeah, some are, some aren't. It just depends if they've paid their chamber dues or not. Yeah, that's a good idea about the board, though. I'll mention that.
yeah, the challenge though is I've had, there's individuals on the street that they didn't want to be, and we had that discussion with Anelia. They don't want to be known as speaking up because they're afraid of how that'll impact them. So there's a whole lot of that going on, and that's rough. So they're looking to me. It's like, hey, can you, they're looking to me to be that voice.
They don't want their names in the paper. They don't want to be guest counsel.
They don't want to be.
They don't want to show up at meetings and talk. So
Yeah, so it's a challenge, and it's not favorable. We've got people that they put their life savings on the line for a business, and they're concerned about that. So.
Comments on this side?
Well, I hate to be the one to interrupt a serious conversation with something that sounds cheerful, but I was in Dubuque this weekend and had a nice chat with a local. Asked him how life was in Dubuque, and he said it was just very interesting. Asked me where I was from. I said I was from Waverly, and his comment was, "It's a great city. You should be happy to be there." And I said, "Well, I am. That's why I live there." Just thought I'd feed that in. We should probably send that note to the Chamber of Commerce as well.
nothing here.
I don't know. I can say stuff just like Mike said, because I had my mom, who will probably hate me, but it was her 60th birthday. We threw her a big surprise birthday party.
Tell
and
her
so,
now.
She's on vacation for a week. She's on a plane. She won't even see this.
You're dead.
But
Paper, big front page spread.
this is actually goes to our tab because we had it all at my brother's house, and there was tons of people there, and his house overlooks the golf course, and literally everyone that went to his balcony just raved about how nice the golf course looked, and how my uncles who all grew up here but haven't played that course in years just still talk about how it's their favorite golf course and they've ever played in the state, and they live down in Des Moines and play all over the place, and so our Waverly golf course is very well known, very well respected. I took a picture, and Dennis made
I'll
a
pass that
reply
on to the
it.
staff. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
Dennis does a good job. He saw the picture I took, and we had a little conversation on my post. That was cool. So,
Wade.
Nothing here. Thanks again for the opportunity, and look forward to becoming more ingrained into the community of Waverly.
Excellent. Glad you can join us, and look forward to a couple more meetings. They don't usually go this short, but
yeah, this is great.
when the mayor here is here, it goes a little long. I don't have anything else. Then
Move for adjournment.
Second.
moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.